So the year before last, when I was scrolling on Instagram, I stumbled on the content of the D&B producer Mitekiss. I was really impressed with not only the quality of Jonny's content, but also the message at the heart of it, embracing the failure and the struggles that are inherent in the creative process, firing up the DAW some days and just making nothing, and how that is all just a natural part of the process. I was really inspired watching his stuff and felt a real affinity between what he was sharing and what I try and put across in my streams and in my videos as well. So I reached out to Jonny and suggested doing something together. At the end of last year, we finally found a window in our diaries where we got together for an unscripted chat, talking about our processes, our thinking, making music, making content, being a successful music producer today, what that means. What you're going to see now is the full chat as it happened with some light editing. But yeah, I hope you enjoy two music producers / content nerds chatting it out. We cover lots of topics: cooking, studio spaces, our creative processes, and the kind of mindset that we try to cultivate in making content and making music. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. I reached out to you, Jonny, a while back about the potential of just like getting together for a chat, just to talk about music, talk about the creative process. Because I was liking a lot of what I saw on your Instagram. I thought it really tied in with like the way I kind of think about things and approach things. I thought, yeah, why not just reach out and see if we could do something together? And have you done anything similar? Or
I'd say I've done a bunch of podcasts and radio interviews. This is kind of different, but I've done similar, not quite this format like we're doing, studio to studio, or you're in your living room by the looks of it.
I am, yeah. I thought my studio is a bit of a box, to be honest. I don't fit. Yours looks quite spacious and luxurious. Every time I see it on Instagram,
it looks better on camera than it does in real. It's a bit more messy in real life. Yeah, so I've done a few kind of video interviews and podcasts and stuff, like I say. So it's usually around a release or like music coming out. It's never just a general chat. Though actually, saying that, I did one with the Amen Brother guys, and that was a bit of a hour chat just about general music, making music and my life as an artist. But this is different. I feel like we're quite similar in the way we think about creativity and mental health. So I think this is more just kind of two guys chatting about it, really, rather than there's no real purpose.
No.
Or promotion. You know, we're not promoting a track or the usual cycle. So
I think you never know what's going to come from just like trying something out and seeing just a conversation and stuff. And I think like we got together before we decided we were going to do this. And I think we were already like, right, we need to stop now, because otherwise we're gonna cover everything we want to talk about. We're gonna do it all now. So But maybe we could start like talking a little bit about like your history coming into music and music production, and just like our separate journeys that we've had, if you'll let me use that word.
So I came like with making music. I think I had it in my house. My brother used to DJ. Like jungle during the late 90s, I'd say, jungle, drum and bass, same thing. And I was like just obsessed with it, just hearing it all the time and then watching the guys mix on vinyl. And it was one of those, like I think from about 12, it just grabbed me. And then he had like an audio editor, I can't even remember what it was, Wavelab or something on our old computer. And I just used to jump on that and just chop up everything I could. I'd say about 12, 13. And from then I was just obsessed with being able to create sounds. And try and make music. And then it kind of just went on from there, to be honest. I went to college and I did like a media BTech. And like one part of that was music production. This was before everything was in the box. So there was still quite a bit of hardware involved. So it was I got into it right as it was crossing over between like full hardware stuff to in the box. So it was quite an interesting period. I carried on playing around, and then I kind of dipped out for a long time because just life in general. Like I moved out with some mates and just got into that whole getting drunk at the weekends, and it just kind of fizzled. It was always there, but I rarely jumped on it. And it wasn't until like mid to late 20s when I actually really got obsessed by it again. And then from then on, I've just been like, it's just live and breathe making music, to be honest with you. I do obsess about a lot of things. I think I do get like tunnel vision into things, and making music has just always been one of those. And so since then, that's it really. During that kind of late 20s, 30s period is when I got picked up by a few more influential people in drum and bass, and that led to signing to Hospital Records, which I reckon I was probably about 32. So quite late in the game for a lot of the guys on the roster, and maybe in their 20s.
What year was that then? Because I was quite into, like, there was Hospitality in Birmingham that I used to go to.
I reckon it was 2017, 2018 maybe.
Okay. Yeah, a bit after my time, like out clubbing and stuff.
Yeah, I think my first album with them came out in 2018. I think, I'd have to double check. Okay. I think it was 2018. Yeah, I mean, that's a very short version of it all. Obviously, there are lots of things that happen in between that. With making music and meeting the right people, but generally speaking, that was the progression. And then did a few albums with them, and then became independent, and since then just been trying to fly that flag and bring audience to me by creating content, and just approaching it differently, you know. And that's kind of where we are now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, can I ask this? Is it like your full-time thing, or?
No. I want it to be, and I'm kind of aiming for that. But I have obviously responsibilities financially. And so I have I work part-time, which I'm fortunate enough to be able to work part-time and basically part-time on this, and that the sum of those two kind of makes it livable. You could of course go out and get more money and work full-time. But I tried that for a very brief period, and it was miserable. So money definitely doesn't bring happiness. We know that. So I kind of took a hit financially to be able to just do music, because I need to do it. Otherwise, it drives me insane if I don't.
I feel exactly the same. It's like I think as the older I get, like the more I've just built my life to fit around a lot of it, you know. And I do work full time, but I work in music, really, adjacent.
That's cool.
Yeah, or it's like certainly in a fulfilling capacity that I'm connected with it, and so I'm surrounded by it all day. And
it's separate enough for you to not put you off of making music. Because I always worried, if I got a job in music, it might then remove the fun from making music.
I think I love making music. Sometimes I don't always want to listen to music. I don't know if you get that, like the.
I get that.
I feel like I'm like immersed in it all the time, and like there'll be times where I really love listening to it, like when I'm driving and stuff like that, and I can just blast it out on my own in my car and stuff like that. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite ways to listen to music, is like on a long journey and stuff. But otherwise, I don't know. Like I feel so in my head about. I'm constantly thinking about creative stuff. It feels like anyway that sometimes it's a bit like a distraction. I don't know if that
making music
with you at all. Yeah.
I think so. It kind of sits in, for me, it sits in the same place as cooking, where it's like you can turn off's the wrong word, but you can kind of like when I'm cooking, for example. Everything goes quiet, and it's like I can find peace in cooking. Right, I could be doing something quite complicated, but it's just so peaceful to me. And it's like
I love cooking too. Me too.
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand with music producers. A lot of producers I know cook. So maybe there's a link. But yeah, just the whole kind of I can think about lots of stuff. My mind can just wander when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I find that it's not the same as making music because you have to focus a little more, I guess.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
there's a similar kind of feeling in terms of you just switch off, you get into that flow state and everything else just kind of fades away and you just, it can be hours, before you realise what you're doing. Or you've even had a sip of water, it can be like 3 hours. You're like, wow. Just get lost in it.
Do you, I feel exactly the same when I do something like that. And that is like one creative pursuit. It's like the creativity of food and cooking and stuff that I really enjoy. And because it's far away enough, but similar enough, yeah. For it to feel like it's a break from like thinking about sound and stuff. But I know I'm sure you've used like cooking analogies, haven't you? Have you used cooking analogies in your content?
I have,
before? Yeah.
I do enjoy cooking.
I remember seeing those.
I do enjoy it, and like I say, that I definitely find a similarity in the creativity as well. That part of it, it ticks that kind of same box, that fulfilling box of being creative. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Exactly the same as when you're trying to make music. It's kind of
like analogies of simplicity, like quality ingredients. Influence from different cultures.
Similar.
Yeah, man. Texture and stuff like this,
Yeah.
So I know I've worked with composers with orchestral composers, and there was one of them recently that was comparing some of his process to like eating and like how he imagined a sound tasting, and that was quite an interesting analogy. I don't think it's a common thing.
Really?
Yeah. He was just saying like, what's it like? When I'm writing, I think what it's like to taste that sound, and how does the taste change as I eat the food? Like if I bite into something and there's initial taste, and then, like I don't know, there's a center to it. It's a sweet or something, and I guess just how like, in music you can make these kind of evolving textures or evolving melodic ideas or harmony or whatever that can be synesthetic in a way to some people. So
when you start layering sound, an initial sound completely changes when you start layering it or processing it, and like half an hour later it's a completely different sound, or it's added to a bed of sound. Again, similar to the food stuff, it kind of evolves as you cook it. You start with those raw ingredients and everything, slowly you end up with this kind of pot.
Do you ever because I think this connects to like another analogy that I think of a lot, which is like visual imagery when I'm making music, and not necessarily like film sequences or anything like that, but the way
colour. Well, yes, a lot of people see colour with sound, don't they?
And the way you like get, imagine when you put an image in Photoshop and you just change it beyond recognition and it becomes something. I feel there's like, that's sometimes the way I think about when I'm working with sound design stuff, nerding out on stuff a bit with no particular aim. It feels visual, very visual to me.
That's interesting. I mean, I think I get colour sometimes. With sound or even whole songs, I can kind of get a sense of colour. I feel like a lot of stuff I make is in purple. I know it seems odd, but for some reason
me too.
It kind of sits in that colour. And then if I push, say, harder or try something out of my usual lane, like maybe a bit more aggressive or dancey, it kind of pushes towards red or black, and so that I definitely get that. But yeah,
someone said they followed my stuff because they like the purple.
Really? That's interesting.
Well, yeah, you have like a purple light in the background, and My Ableton is kind of purpley.
And people like looking at that visually. I haven't really dialed in a colour yet. For the I mean, talking visually, just jump in conversations here, but I'm kind of looking for that. When I redid this studio, because this is an attic, I had this idea of basically creating a whiskey lounge, right? And then putting the tools in there to be able to make music. To rather than think of it like a studio, which I think is quite common, I wanted it to feel like a type of vibe, a space, and then in there happened to be tools to make music. I approached it that way around this time, and I'm really happy with the result. But so it's got this kind of like warm, it feels like you could be in like a nice cozy bar, like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
There happens to be some speakers and some musical stuff here, do you know what I mean? I never wanted it to look like a studio or feel like a studio.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like that takes away from that creativity, or at least the room can help you creatively, I think, when it feels a certain way. Yeah, so I know that sounds odd, but like I say, like a speakeasy, just a relaxing environment, but then there happens to be stuff to make music in here. That was the idea. That's what I was going for. Because, you know, like the cliche is to have a studio that looks like a spaceship, right? Like that's, I think, a bit like how it used to look. Like, I mean, it's cool, but I wanted it to feel a bit more grown up, like a bit more. And also, the Whiskey Lounge just adds that kind of like analog 70s feel. And I want a lot of my music to have more texture and feel more. Yeah. You know, I go out of my way to try and make it feel older. So it kind of helps, you know?
I absolutely hear you, yeah. I'm quite happy with like really minimal equipment in that sense. And like the need to have lots of stuff. I would like to be able to have some good monitors and have a nice sounding speaker setup. I just don't have space at the moment. Yeah,
that's always a difficulty with no space. I mean, headphones, I suppose.
That's what I'm living with a bit, if you know, which is fine. And I try to balance that with testing it whenever I can on just in the car and stuff like that, and different setups and everything.
I've always wanted to be able to do it in headphones. I find it really difficult with headphones.
Do you?
There's something about, almost impossible for me to create. There's something about the stereo field that throws me. But having said that, I haven't tried it on good headphones, like really good headphones. So, you know, if I had some grados or whatever, maybe some high grade stuff, I might try it again. But I like the idea of being able to make music anywhere.
Same here. Yeah,
but you'd need good
I really
headphones.
don't like the idea of.
You need good headphones to do that.
And I a few years ago I spent as much as I could afford on like a pair of Neumann headphones. And every pair of headphones I own, I destroy eventually just from use. You know, I'm not heavy-handed with them. They just wear down from, you know, my head, I guess, and my ears.
Yeah.
But they are nice, I'd say, and it removes the need to have like, I don't know if you find this, but I kind of like hate the friction of like setting stuff up and everything. I need things to be just there, ready to go. Otherwise, I won't. So easy to just not do it. And you want to get moving quickly, don't you? If you can. Yeah, and so having to plug into speakers or anything like that, which is what I would have to do, is just, I was like, I'd rather just deal with headphones.
To be fair, right?
Yeah.
I've got my studio is connected via a single lightning cable. I don't know if they're even called lightning cables anymore. But you plug that one cable into my laptop and the whole thing is ready.
That's the kind of thing I would like. Yeah.
There's no messing about, like all the sound, because they go into this other like external hub, and that hub is a single cable to the laptop. And so it just turns the hub on basically, and everything comes to life, the monitors, the speakers, all the external hardware, everything.
Amazing.
So you can really quickly just plug in and go.
That's the kind of setup I would love.
It's the beauty of Mac.
Yeah, you driving it all from a laptop then, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Nice.
This laptop I'm on now is just a little MacBook Pro M2 few years old now.
Yeah.
But they're so quick now, aren't they, with the silicone chips? So it's
Amazing.
insane.
Like the
It runs
video
a big
editing.
32-inch monitor at the same time. It's nuts. And I edit all my YouTube in 4K on it, and it's crazy.
It's fine. It's all fine with stuff like that, isn't it? And like I thought that was another thing. Like when I first saw your Instagram stuff, was that just the quality of the visual quality, and obviously the musical quality and the content quality. Do you have any background in? Have you got background in film or video? Or?
No, none at all.
All self-taught.
All self-taught, yeah. My day job's actually in web, which is very boring. Web and paid media, like web design and paid advertising on Meta, generally kind of digital marketing, I would say. But no experience. I mean, I've played with it, since I was a young teenager. All the audio and visual. So it's just from just practicing, to be honest. Watching YouTube
experimenting. Exactly. Exactly.
Just experimenting.
Same
just knowing what looks good visually, I suppose.
It looks very classy, very tasteful, I'd say. Really slick, really cool. Just really.
Yeah. Thank you. I think the studio helps.
It's not overdone. It's really really tasteful.
I suppose I've put more into it because I don't perform, right? Or I don't DJ, which is not typical for someone who makes drum and bass primarily. I'm definitely the odd one out. I think 99.9% of people who make drum and bass probably DJ. There's a handful of people I know that don't. Well, there you go. You're one.
Yeah.
But you're that's still one hand. The people are still on one hand. And even with the opportunities that came across me, especially when I was signed to hospital, I could have DJed a couple of times a week without even really trying. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that usually is your outlet to kind of play people your music and get new fans. I don't have that because I don't do it. So my whole thought was, I have to do it online effectively. Some things in person, but generally speaking through content on social media, let's be honest, that's how it works. And
same here, yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably your answer is, I'm not going out doing the gigs, so I get to spend more time trying to work this bit out.
We can do it from the comfort of your whiskey lounge as well, can't you?
Yeah, but it's easy to get. That is true. It's easy to get. I don't think I've actually drunk any whiskey in here, I need one of those.
I was going to say, you're a whiskey fan. Are you a whiskey?
I am a big whiskey fan, yeah. But I need one of the what they call. I've forgotten the name now.
Decanter.
That's going to end up. Decanter. I just need one on the side with some high grade whiskey in it. Nah, it's an odd one because I love the idea of documenting and not creating, which is kind of from Gary Vaynerchuk. Well, I suppose it's not, but he made that idea popular. Whereas when people want to create content to attract people to come to their businesses, his whole ethos was just document, because you can't come up with ideas all day every day. So just film what you're doing, and then make it bite size and digestible for people. So that was a good few years ago. I read or heard that. I thought that's a great thing actually, because you're in the studio half the time. Most of the stuff you're doing is probably quite interesting to people. Perhaps new producers and stuff. So I just started turning the camera on. I would say I would do something and be like, oh, that would be a really good thing to show someone. But I'd had to do it anyway that day. So then it's kind of like, well, if I had the camera on, I'm just getting double usage I'm doing it anyway. And then obviously you kind of tweak it for content's sake, but you were doing that task anyway. So that's kind of really helped. But I suppose,
what is your...
Go on.
What's your process for it then, Jonny, with that? Because that sounds really interesting. Have you got the camera on the whole time, or are you
No.
No, When you strike upon something that you're like, this could really work as a bit short form or something, or as like a YouTube video.
So like today I'm doing some stuff for sync, and I have a brief, and I'm going to try and just come up with a little idea. So that I might be like halfway through that, and I just do something cool with a chain of effects or whatever, and then I'll think I should show someone that, or I should have recorded that, and then I'll just turn the camera on and maybe do that little 10 minutes again. So I'm not having to come up with an idea like, oh, what can I do today? It's more like I'm doing it, film it, put it out, which is great for short form because it means you can get loads out of it, right? Like every day you're doing something you can just record. But where I struggle, I think, is YouTube, which is new to me because I've started putting out some more, like I put a lot more effort into making content recently, and these aren't just like document. The YouTube stuff is more thought out and kind of prepared.
Yes.
And that's where I'm kind of struggling at the moment because I'm struggling to find what my thing is, like in terms of what I put out. Like I say, the short form stuff I find quite easy because it's just little snippets into music production or like playing on the keys, whatever. But the longer form thought out stuff I find quite difficult. Don't know how you feel about that.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, some people that I like,
man,
I like rate on YouTube. Like say for example, John Makes Beats, a wicked YouTube channel. He live streams, just making a tune, for example. And then he just like after the fact will cut that down to a 10-minute video and it works really well. And it's kind of like he kind of is documenting what he's doing. But I don't quite have the courage to perhaps do like a 3-hour live stream of me making a track yet. Maybe it's something I'll explore. And that would obviously give you content is what I'm trying to say. Because you could make that really digestible and do a little 10-minute cut. But I'm not at that stage yet.
Yes, that's kind of what that's what I do. Yeah, I find like talking about music and talking about like, I guess, teaching people in a way, or like trying to dispense some sort of knowledge that's going to be useful and going to perform well. And I find it very overwhelming sometimes because I find it difficult to think about one thing without needing to connect it to every other possible part of music, because I think so much of music depends on so many other aspects of it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I sometimes find that just like condensing it into a short video, I find that really, really difficult for me because I guess I'm overthinking and...
yeah, I mean, just to briefly interject, the guy Beats, he has an editor which he talks about, and he sends the guy the whole thing, and that guy does that job to make it a lot easier. Because like you say, it's very difficult to do it yourself, potentially.
I have entertained that like a little bit, but never properly, as in I wouldn't even know where to look, I don't think, for someone who I could trust with editing, because I think it is a great concept, like that would really work for me, like having someone edit my live streams, because I do them once a week, if not more. And trying to edit down like a 2-hour stream, 2.5-hour stream into a 10-minute video is also like with my schedule and everything. I'm sure you find, finding time for this stuff is difficult anyway.
Yeah, it's difficult,
Yeah, and then having like an editorial job in the sense of like, well, what am I going to weave out of this video? And then I've got another live stream coming up, and I haven't done that, so.
Yeah, if I was you, I would be outsourcing that part, and it's not going to be perfect the first time you get it back, and they're not going to see the nuance or your personality, but it's a relationship you'd have to build over time.
Yeah.
To get it, to a place where they understand you and they know what you want cut. Like any creative pursuit, you give them the initial brief, but over time, they're getting a steady stream of work and they start to learn you, it could work really well. In fact, that for me, if I was at a point where I could justify that, I would send all my video stuff to a person or people. But we're a way off of that yet until I could justify that cost. If you're like someone like that guy,
yeah, because you want someone good. That's it. You want someone,
with a crap ton of subs and he's making money, then it makes sense to pay for that as part of your team. But for guys like us, it's kind of do it all yourself at the moment, isn't it? I assume.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like over like, it's been 3 or 4 years now I've been streaming, and it is a lot harder to grow, I think, without the short form component or the shorter form component, like the 10-minute component, because who wants to click on a 2-hour live stream for someone they've never heard of?
No,
not me.
This is it, and this is it. And those 10-minute cuts, like you might find a really good segment which would make a great 10-minute video, and that will bring a whole new audience to you and then to your streams. The
ones that I've thought least about usually do the best in terms of like videos, ideas, and production. I'll just even do like a screen recording with my camera. It won't even be high quality, and it doesn't seem to put people off at all.
Yeah. And how do you find that live stream element in terms of what? It's great when you're in the zone creatively. What about the times when you're not?
You will. Well, I'm sure this is the same for you, Jonny. But like, I used to make music with, sometimes with just like mates hanging around there as well. Like they might just be in the same room with you or something like this, and they might have no music. Just they might like music or whatever, or just be into the same music, but they're not a musician and they don't want to make it. But we'd have some really great sessions or great times just doing that with my mates and stuff, just hanging out and messing on synthesizers or whatever, or messing on like loopers, and I thought that's kind of what I wanted to just do on a live stream. Really, is just be like, let's see what we can, come and watch me, see if we can come up with anything. And when it doesn't go well, sometimes I do like prang out quite badly, and I'm just like stressing about being judged, I think, is the thing.
Yeah.
But also I kind of enjoy it because I think it's really great practice, because if you can do that, I think it's like good training, good music production training. If I can handle this creative situation in front of people, and maybe it should be a personal thing really, maybe others shouldn't see it, but I also think that it's like, then I won't feel so bad about it generally when it doesn't go well, because often it doesn't. I'm sure it's the same for you.
Well, this is the thing. It's like it's not every time you turn it on it's good. It's like 1 in 10 maybe, or whatever. And that, I suppose that would be my worry. And a lot of my production is happy accident.
Same.
A lot of the time it's happy accidents, right? And it's kind of, when you're on your own, I don't even like making music if there's someone in the room, you see. So maybe that's why I find it difficult. But when you're on your own, you can kind of just be comfortable and take your time and wait for a happy accident. If I was live streaming, it's like you'd maybe feel a bit more pressured to rush, and then less likely to land on something you really like. So I don't know, maybe I've got to just do it and see.
It's weird hearing you saying that, because like I find like short form so exposing when I ever do. Just because it's kind of like I have to, there's an element of acting and theatre to it, which you do really well,
totally.
I think. And I could not, although I can sometimes, I find the best way for me to do that is to not think about it and for it to be caught in a live situation rather than turning the camera on and performing, if you like, which I think you do so well, and so many other creators do miles better than I do.
Yeah, maybe that's where it's different.
Yeah. And I usually just get in my head and I'm like, oh, well, how can I talk to them about, how can I play a chord if they don't know what equal temperament is, and if they don't, I'm getting all these thoughts coming in, I would say you'd be great and you should just do it, and you don't have to keep it up once you've done it. It can just be a trial run. And maybe you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, like I say, I'm getting better at, because I suppose initially it's quite secretive, isn't it? Or it always has been, for me anyway. And so like exposing perhaps, because I'm not the most technically gifted producer, and I would never claim to be. Like I'm more about just putting together vibes. I feel like I
think everyone's like that a bit, aren't they?
Maybe. Actually, yeah. I feel like I've got by on vibes, but then when you're showing that, perhaps, you're always worried that the people watching you are going to be like really seasoned producers,
fraud.
I guess. Yeah, and go, you fraud, you're using like a chop from Splice or whatever. Which, funnily enough, and the thing is, I've gone and done writing camps or sessions, which again I'm not a fan of because you're in front of people. I don't like those, but I've done them, and some producers that you really look up to have made the most amazing tunes. When you see their workflow, you're like, you're the same as me.
Yeah.
If not like even more casual. So you realise you're like, oh my god, this guy also just does this, or grabs a drum break ready-made to go sometimes. And you realise not everyone is sitting there, doing every single element to like precision and perfection. It's quite, it's quite eye-opening actually. But I forget that. I do forget that. So I'm trying to get better at being like, just show you warts and all these songs and not care about judgment. And I think the next gen are better at that because they're growing up producing in that style and that way anyway. Yeah. Because like everything's so readily available and blah blah blah. So they're just showing it like this is normal part of the process. Whereas I grew up where it was still hardware going into the box. So it's super complicated and technical. Yeah. So I have difficulty showing that. And like I say, a live stream might just be a bit too much for me for that at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna try it. I will try it.
What you've just talked about, I think live streaming is the answer to that in a way. I was always keen to just show, I learned a lot from tutorials. I learned pretty much everything from other people's content. And one thing that always not concerned me, but one thing that I always noticed was that but when I write music, and I've written music most of my life, be it in bands or just on my own and stuff, is that it's not like that. It's not just a technique. It's not just the creativity side in a way is not talked about enough, I think, in some, or at least it wasn't when I was learning. And so I always thought, well, the best thing to do would just be to put a camera on and pretend people weren't there, and just show people like what the real process is like a bit, because not many people are going to watch the full thing, but some people might really get it. Just might be what they need to help them. I don't know, get courage in the way they're doing things or something, that it's okay.
Yeah, or inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. And that was always I love the idea that I can make people excited enough they want to go and do it, really. That's always it's great when you share that vibe with people, I think. And I still love that.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, and I'm trying to give value in the content I make, and more kind of centered around the whole, it's okay to, I should listen to my own advice, but it's okay to make loads of rubbish music and not release any of it. Not everything has to be released. Not, because everyone seems to think you have to release everything, and you can't make anything else, and like we've lost the art of kind of it being just a hobby like painting. You know, you're not going to show your painting to everyone. Maybe 1 in 20 you might try and sell, whatever, I don't know. But this whole idea of like, you know, everything has to be perfect and everything has to be put out. You can't just piss about for an hour. There is no end game like that, and that should be normal, right? That's absolutely fine. And that's how we grew up making music. So it's a bit like, I like that side of it, and maybe trying to inspire some newer producers that way, and let them know it's, you know, it's about putting reps in and just messing around, just have fun.
Yeah. So true. I completely agree with you. I think there's just so much pressure if you're thinking that way, that like it's meaningless unless I finish it. I think that's the thing, isn't it? That's what you're thinking, is like,
it is.
This is ultimately pointless, and I'm no good unless I draw a line under this. And that's just not reality,
really
is
bad,
it? Because you're an artist, and you've got to get used to that. It's going to be uncomfortable, and you need to get used to that. Because like, if you want to carry on doing this, and if you do want to progress and get your voice more attuned as what you want to say through your music, then you need to be comfortable with that horrible bit where everything you make you don't like, and you're not finishing anything, I think. And that is progress sometimes, even if it doesn't look like it, you know.
You know, I don't see why we don't see it differently. Like, say, for example, going to the gym, it's, you know, everyone knows, right? You can't go to the gym once and see results. So it's odd how we can sometimes feel like that about creativity or art or music, because, you know, you're not going to see results for months, like 6 months, whatever. And it's the same, but you still go and put the reps in. If that. So it's a bit like making music, isn't it? It requires lots of reps and unseen results. And then out of nowhere, you know, before you know it, you realise you've got some sort of muscles, you know. It could be a year down the line. So, yeah.
I think it's like you only notice when it's past with stuff like that. Like, I only really can see the progress I've made looking back a few years or so. It just feels like only now, after like 25, 30 years, that I actually kind of know or feel I know better who I am artistically and musically.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same, you know. I'm like, I was late to the party anyway, and, you know, I only feel like I feel like now I'm starting to get comfortable with my output. In terms of that fear of judgment has kind of dissolved away.
Yes.
I mean, I think I've been quite good at that for a little while, but especially now, I feel like I don't really have that anymore.
And that is...
And it's not, I don't think it's through... I think it's just through learning to realise that it doesn't actually matter, it's subjective.
Yeah. And I suppose that you have the skills to realise your musical ideas are easier, or you know when a happy accident happens, you're more like, you develop your instincts in a way to that kind of thing happening.
Yeah.
Which, when you're starting out, you kind of miss all the good stuff because you're not aware, you're not kind of self-aware in that respect enough. So, so it's a lifelong thing, really, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, like I always say, it's more like, if anything, it's more like a lifestyle, isn't it, than a hobby?
Yes.
When you've been doing it this long and you require it to kind of be okay, it is like, it's almost like eating, isn't it? It really is a lifestyle.
Yeah, I couldn't do without it. It's an everyday thing for me. Never stop thinking about it. I never stop loving it, you know.
Yeah, and you would do it, you know, I would do it regardless of the outcome, you know. Even if no one listened to my music and I had one person following me, you know, I would still be in here making music.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
They wouldn't change.
I think you have to start from there, don't you? You have to start from that point that if you really love it, no matter what happens, really that's the best you can ever expect. We both have responsibilities. We both have other stuff to do, don't we? Like, because I mean, a lot of this, like this crystallization happened for me after I had kids, you know, that like,
Okay.
in the sense that I'll do this thing, whatever. I was always scared that having like children was going to stop it or something, or was going to make me think like, but actually it kind of made me realise that this is my life, and I kind of have to get used to that fact, you know, in a way, and have to like, it's always going to be present. And if anything, I've been more focused since having children, because there's less time to waste and that, yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely harder there's no denying that. And that really is from a time perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're young and you have no children and you live at home, just make beats every day, every night. You can you can get up there really quickly. If that's all you got, just do it.
Just do it, man. Yeah. If you feel like,
if I could go back in time, just, you know. But like you said, having a child, it's kind of, it focuses your energy as well, because you do have finite time. You can't sit there at 1 a.m, you know. So, well, actually you probably could, but you'd have to get up early, so it's difficult, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of focused my time more.
Same here.
Because I only had a limited time where I could make music. And like I mentioned, sacrificing the full-time income, which I'm fortunate enough to be able to do, means I can spend a bit of daytime doing music, like today, for example, or this.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've taken a hit in financial reward for that. But to me, it's totally worth it. I've done both. I've had the full time, more money, and I was more miserable. I have less money, I'm way more happy. So, you know, there's definite correlation there. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough having a kid.
Yeah.
Full stop.
when I first started live streaming, it'd often be, I'd get up early, and I did it really early. I did it at like 5 in the morning. No, never quite 5 in the morning. I think maybe the odd occasion I did, but because that was the only time of the day that I got to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
At like 5 a.m.
What about your listeners? Are they in a different time zone?
So you get more American people, more people from America and stuff.
Yeah,
and you get people from, and at first no one came on, but like eventually they started to like, you started to get people there, and then someone might put something in the chat, and then that happened more frequently. And I always wanted it to grow organically. I never wanted it to be like, I'm going to have a shed. As long as I do it as close to every day as I could, just to get used to the feeling of it. But a lot of people, I'd get messages from a lot of dads, because often it was like, right, I can fit in a quick half an hour live stream before I've got to take my kids to school, which is often what I did. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so I think, because there are loads of, I remember Philip Glass, you know, the composer Philip Glass. When he was like relatively unknown, he worked as a cab driver. So he'd work overnight doing that, or he'd work like early morning shifts. Then he'd come back and take his kids to school, and then he'd go back home and compose. And he composed until he had to pick his kids up from school and then go and do the cab job. So it felt a bit like that, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's something you make time for, what's important to you, don't you?
Yes.
Generally, people can always find that extra bit of time when it really is, you live and breathe it, and like making music fits into that. You know,
Yeah.
you sacrifice something else, like that might be watching telly or playing computer games, whatever, or even a bit of work, but you sacrifice that to then make time for making music. But yeah, it
absolutely.
focuses it. I mean,
It does.
I would love to be able to just cover my outgoings from music alone. If I could get to that point, I'd probably drop the work, drop income even more, and then build
Yeah.
up from there.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's kind of my like trigger point, I would say. In my head at the moment, I'm like, if I can get it to a point where it's literally like covering costs, like the baseline, then I'd scrap everything else, and then I would try and build back up from there. That's a challenge.
It is a challenge. I think it's like, you're never quite sure if it's like sustainability is an issue just because of how you keep a secure income, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, I don't want to go down the whole like paywall everything route. Like, I love the democratization of creativity, and so I don't want to be that guy that's like everything's behind Patreon or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like I want it all to be free, and then I would take money from big brands. In my head, that's how I would do it, right? So the the end user would never pay, but brands would pay me to perhaps talk about some of their equipment or whatever it might be. I don't actually know yet, but I would take their money, not people's money.
Yes.
You might like have a like, you know, donate a cup of coffee to help me keep going, but I wouldn't paywall creativity or like learning or say like I'm doing a tutorial about how to use something.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't ever.
Yeah.
These days, I would never want to paywall that.
No. I completely.
Because you might be, you know, there might be someone out. It's hard enough for people out there who don't have money trying to learn how to do this.
Yeah, for real. So true. Yeah.
So, and especially like
it's expensive, man. It's an expensive thing.
It is an expensive hobby, and you know, well, even parts of this country, but other parts of the world where socioeconomically it's a lot harder, then having to pay someone £7 a month on Patreon is inconceivable. Do you know what I mean? Like that whole idea is just crazy. So there might be a kid somewhere there that really could do with that help. And in my head, I'm like, I would want that to be free on YouTube. They could just jump on YouTube wherever they are and see that and learn that.
Yes.
And I take some money off of multi-million-pound Adobe or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Multi-billion,
no, I think
should we say?
I think that's yeah, it's I guess it's like avoiding. It's a whole nother topic, really, but like we're keeping the content up and stuff like that, really. And I do think about this stuff quite a bit. You know, I think there are many ways to make a life like that. But it is hard work, isn't it? It's hard graft, and it's 24/7 in a way.
You've got to build a community big enough. Like if you take the YouTube route, you've got to build the channel big enough or the community big enough that it attracts brands and sponsorships because they know they're going to get eyeballs on their stuff. So you know the path. Like I know the route. It's just, can I keep making content that's interesting enough for people to watch to bring new subscribers? I mean, I feel like I can do it.
For sure. And for you, keeping it interesting for you, so you don't. Doesn't feel
that's what I was
like a job. That's the.
That's what I mentioned to you earlier. That I was asking you about ideas for content, the longer form stuff. I really struggle with that, and I'm struggling at the moment because I don't want to just make something for the sake of it either. Like
no, me neither. Yeah,
I'm really struggling with ideas, so I need to work something out because I've done a few so far. Like I did this thing recently with the whole old tape machines that go in and out of pitch naturally from like the 70s, 60s and 70s and stuff, and how everything now being totally digital loses that aspect. So I made this like YouTube video around that and how you could recreate that in a modern DAW. And that's like one of my best performing video, like over a few days it hit like 15,000 views, for example.
Amazing.
Really quickly. Which is not the usual scale for me. So that was cool, and like making that was fascinating me because I've been obsessing about getting tape machine at the moment, and like so I was looking into it, which is why it came about. So very natural, and it was topical for me. So that works. But have you got one of those every week? You know?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
No, doubtful. That's it's like the equivalent of releasing a track every week in a way.
Yeah, and I don't want to just half-arse it like that. I spent a lot of time more on the edit and researching. You know, that's like probably a day's work that took me to make that video, I would say.
Oh yeah, at least.
Or a day and a half, right? And I'm happy to put a day in, you know, but it's more having the idea that I am struggling with.
I don't think you're alone in that. I think everyone feels that way that puts content out, or you know, well, in whatever format that is, because it's similar to musical output in a way, you know.
It is, yeah, because it requires creativity and
interest too. You know, if you're not interested in it, it's like I just won't do it. You know, I'll just be like, well, this is a waste of time, because I think that kind of thing comes across on camera as well if you're not feeling it. And yeah, I think like the enthusiasm can be felt through the lens, if you like, a bit. And if it's just if you're making this because you think you should make it, it's probably not.
Yeah, and it would be easy to go down the whole like tutorial route. You know, like I could easily knock out, here's how to make a jungle beat, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Or here's how to chop a break, which I'm sure I'm guilty of as well. But I could do loads of those. Like, here's how to do this, here's how to... But I also don't really want to be a teacher. There are millions of people that teach you how to chop drum breaks. Like,
yeah, me included.
I'm told. What YouTube does not need is another dude telling you how to chop breaks, right? It really doesn't. Know, but... So... No, I've done it. The thing is, I'm guilty as well. But I suppose what I'm saying
did the Amen video, didn't you?
Million. Yeah. I just don't want to do
a million of them. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Like every video could be some sort of tutorial on how to do this, how to do that, how to whatever, how to layer your snare drums, and it's like you can knock them out for fun, but I don't want to be that guy either. So I'm in that weird place where I want to talk more about making music than showing making music.
Yeah.
And like theories and principles, like the whole tape machines and old MPCs going in and out of wow and flutter, like and out of pitch, and talking about that impact on music rather than how to layer a kick drum.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
that
those topics.
Anyway.
Those, I mean, you could even go back through your Instagram stuff and potentially go deeper on some of the stuff covered there. I don't know. That's
a good idea, because a lot of those touch upon that side of things, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's just an easy way. Sometimes you've probably got the idea there, haven't you? And it's just like, can you develop it a little bit, or?
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
Ideas will always be beyond your grasp a little bit. Or certainly I've found, and I don't want to do what you're saying either, particularly, you know, about just doing tutorials and stuff. That's really not the interesting thing for me. You know, it's making people like better artists, better, happier, more productive artists, you know.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I love the whole document, don't create ethos. It's just, can I translate that into longer form, I suppose. And like it's a bit of a self-fulfilling ball, because the more you do and get better, bigger at it, the easier it would be to document, because more would be happening that is interesting to people. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But when you're starting, that's kind of difficult, because it's like documenting, there is nothing to document. You know, so it's like, but for example, as more and more opportunities arise and things come through your door, you can document more, because so it then becomes easier to create content, you know. Content creates content type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I just like track. I mean, I track the progress of all the tunes. My thing was always like just show. I wanted to show people the completely unadulterated process from initial idea and then what I do with it in between, and then trying to get it released. To show people that, look, I did this thing, and here you can watch me do the initial idea here, you can watch me work on it here, you can, and then you can hear the finished track here, and then my YouTube videos get demonetized because it picks up my own tune in my streams, you know, that I've released.
If you know hip hop, you will know the producer Conductor Williams, and he uses a tag in the start of every beat, Conductor. But his and this is a Grammy-winning producer who's got multiple platinum records, right? I really like his YouTube style because he basically shows you the records, like how I made this Drake beat, for example, but 90% of the video is him talking about the idea, like behind it. And then then all of a sudden he'll switch to his MPC and go, oh, here was the original sample, here's how I chopped it. But then he talks about the feeling that it evoked, or the flow, or the vibe, and he'll discuss that for like half an hour. And he gets he does really well. But what I love is he doesn't like load up a studio and show you how he EQ'd a drum break. He literally will just trigger a few of the samples from the track, and he can talk about it for like half an hour, and which is a skill in itself. And he talks about the whole creative process and the feeling, and I like that.
Me too, and I think that's what I enjoy, is like trying to describe to people why I'm doing what I'm doing, or what I'm after, or why I want to work on a particular song over another.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. Maybe you could try that. You know, it's another thing you did. Certainly with your own releases as well.
Go back through your catalogue and could maybe look at it from that angle instead of a track breakdown. You could talk about maybe more the inspiration and
I think
the story behind making it.
I love that kind of stuff, and there are other people like us, you know, who enjoy that, and they need that, but they need that because they don't necessarily they might be thinking, well, I'm thinking this particular thing about it, but I want to make music that's like banging or whatever. I don't know, like marrying up what you think you should be making with what you actually do make. And I think a lot of when you're early on, coming to terms with the fact that you might not make the music that you like listening to a little bit, if you get me. I think talking about inspiration, honest inspiration is a remedy for people.
Yeah, I don't listen to the type of music I make, especially drum and bass. It's rare that I listen to drum and bass outside of making it, weirdly. Unless it's far enough removed, I suppose. Generally speaking. The type of stuff I listen to, I do not make, weirdly.
Yeah, I like such a broad church of music, you know, and often, I don't know, I'll be into yodeling or something like this, like really into it. I'm never gonna use that in my music. I'm never gonna incorporate yodeling or throat singing or anything. But I don't necessarily want to listen to the kind of thing I make as well. You know, I get too easily influenced as well. Then
and you're picking up inspiration subconsciously from all these other genres, whether you know it or not. It's probably getting in there. Because there are loads of techniques in other music styles that you pick up on that you think, oh, that probably subconsciously you remember.
Yeah, everything goes in the pot, doesn't it? Jonny, it's been fantastic to talk. I think we could talk all day. It's been great to chat, and no doubt hopefully we'll do some more stuff in the future. That'd be sick.
Yeah, definitely, man. Nice one.
Right.